Welcome, folks. This is Will, K-Mac Vintage. This is just going to be a short little update to my live session from last night. Um, the issues I was having last night um, with this 128. Uh, Let me go to my other view. So you can recall I was working on this machine. This is one of the last ones that I went to test last night, and other way. Okay. The analog board was not chiming. It was not giving me any picture and so forth. Um, you're gonna laugh at me, but let me close this curtain here so we get some more darkness here. I was letting some nice Caribbean sun into the room to work, but it makes it difficult for the camera to see the screen. Anyway, the what was strange was that when I powered it on, I could hear that the floppy was on. The actual floppy was spinning and so forth. So that made me think for a minute that, hey, wait a minute, I am getting power to the logic board. Um, Floppy is running, so I went to look, and stupid me, the only thing I had to do was adjust this cutoff knob. See, now it's on. I get the chime, and the picture should come up there. You should see it on that other screen there in the bottom corner. All it was that this was turned down like that. Okay, so once I turned it up, I have image. So that was okay. Now, about the sound, I have chime now, but earlier I was not having chime. And I was like, okay, what the hell could this be? I plugged in a headphone, I get chime. I looked at the cable coming from the analog board, where the speaker plugs in. I checked the solder connection, I checked all that. All that was fine. Then I went to look at the logic board to see, and then I remembered how the jack works. Okay, the sound travels from the logic board. It goes first to the jack, and then from the jack it comes back to the plug, and to specifically pin 4, which is really the yellow cable, which is really the third cable because pin 2 is empty, but they still count it. So pin 4, which is the yellow cable, is the audio that goes back to the analog board. I checked that, and I wasn't getting anything there. There was nothing on pin 4 on the yellow cable. Then I remembered that this jack here, um, if there's no headphone plugged into it, it has a lever. It has like a little lever. Okay, that if there's no jack in it, it's touching a pin that comes out of the jack and solders into the board. So that's touching. Okay. I don't remember if it's top or bottom, whichever way it goes. Matter of fact, we can take a look at it through the microscope. Let's go look. Let's go have a learning lesson on microphone jacks. Okay, but it's hard to see. All right, so if you can see, there's one pin here, and then that piece of metal. This piece of metal here comes up and goes around like this, over and under and over here. Okay, it's underneath this other piece of metal that is over here and comes down on this pin. Okay, this pin here, pin 3 really doesn't do anything. That's just ground for the front. So if I'm not mistaken, I think I opened this one, but if I open it, it's gonna. I think I had this one open. Give me 1 second here. Okay, yeah, all right. Now we can have a better look. Okay. So if the microphone comes in, all right, it comes in and it pushes down on the spring and it gets in between there. Okay. So now, as a matter of fact, let's take my microphone. So right now, microphone, my actually headset. So, all right. So if I push this in, look at what this is gonna do. You see that? So it pushes that metal down, and then that has no contact to this pin. So the audio comes in here, comes up, and goes into the headset, but never continues back out of the jack to go to pin 4 on the harness. So no audio gets to the analog board. That's all that this does. Okay, it actually cuts off the audio from going any further. All right. So now with it out, that's making contact, but you can see how green and dirty all this is. You see that? And it's very hard to clean, you see? Because this had some corrosion go in there. So I took off this jack. I had one from a Plus donor board that I have. And I put that on, and then once I put that on, audio started flowing, and I have the chime. So really, this little jack can cause a lot of problems where you go down a rabbit hole that you're not expecting, and you end up chasing and going a way that is very difficult to come back from and take some time. So this is why they always say plug in a headset into the audio into the jack and see if you hear a chime. So if you hear a chime, you know the logic board is fine because it is actually producing the chime. Then you can go and see if you have the signal on pin 4. And if you don't, then you know, hey, this jack, let's fix this jack. Let's see what's wrong with it. Ah, shit. There goes stuff.
Narrator dialogue. Okay. Button. Alt plus. Calculator window. Display is 0 heading level. Calculator. 1 running window is requesting exiting narrator.
Okay, sorry about that. The keyboard fell when I picked up my phone and that turned on all sorts of shit. Anyway, so we now know what the problem was. Man, why is my cargo not available yet? So anyway, so always check your jack. That could be the problem. This one is garbage. This one I'm gonna throw out. Okay, so ended up being really nothing wrong with the analog board. The analog board was fine. It was just the jack. And where's my floppy? That's 2. Oh, that's it. So if I put that in, it will start booting. There we go. So this 128 analog and logic board are fine. There we go. But now, I think I screwed up my floppy emu because I went and experimented some things with it on the Apple III, and I think I did something to it. Um, I had to flash it. I had to flash it to Apple II, so I did that. Now I flashed it back to Macintosh. I flashed it back to Macintosh. Trying to boot up with it, like I normally do all the time, like I should disconnect. I turn it on. I get the screen, Macintosh mode, 3.5 floppy disk emulation comes up. I have everything there. I go to Macintosh stuff, system disks. I choose a disk image that I know will work on this machine, like system 1.1, because I'm booting here with 1. So 1.1, I select it. It doesn't do a damn thing. It just sits there. It doesn't start to seek. I think something in the floppy emu I screwed up. I don't know. Maybe it might be the firmware. Maybe I need to go to a previous firmware and see. Because this is the latest firmware on this, but I think I screwed something up on it. I'll have to contact them and see. I tried it on my other logic board that I took out of this machine, sitting right here. I tried it on this. Then this is a 512. This is a 128. Bumped up to a plus, but it has got a plus ROM in it for it to take a 400 and an 800K disc. That's the only difference. But it won't boot up. I mean, I get nothing. See, that's just sitting there, and the screen is just sitting at the question mark. It should be booting up right now. So I don't know what I did to this. So, but anyway, so that's really what this video was about. Was an update on this 128. It went a bit off of a wild course there to learn about what the audio jack does. Very interesting design, kind of neat how it does it, but the audio flows through that jack. I mean, that's if you don't have audio, sometimes check on that headphone jack first before you start thinking it might be something else or a cable or this or that or blah blah blah. Check on that jack, especially on the I mean, I don't know if that applies to all the boards. I think it does. All of these that have the sound that comes through the harness and goes back to the analog board. I think they all work the same way. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video. This was just a small little update. I don't want to go too long. I'm finishing up my things and double checking to start um, wrapping them in bubble wrap and packing them for my trip on Monday. So that's what this video is for. Thank you for the live session last night, those that were on and those that have watched it. It seems to be doing pretty well. And it is out there. Go and watch it if you haven't yet. It's where I test all the boards and things that I need to take up with me. So we have a working analog board. So I was talking with Jake too about these analog boards and how bad they are sometimes, how they get so corroded and that. And since he does the actually the KCAD files and that, I was like, hey, why don't you make a reloaded analog board? It'll be something simple. I don't think it'll be that hard. And if your board is damaged so bad, you can just transfer some of the stuff. I mean, we can make a BOM file, and you have your list of items and even some shopping carts. you may be able to find some of the stuff new. A lot of it you'll have to use again because the stuff cannot be found. But at least the actually resistors and capacitors and some of these other things you can find, and you can probably um, do an update on it. I was like, well, then make actually two versions of the board because, like me, if I'm going to restore a machine, I would rather restore it to the original specs, to the original um, components and so forth as best as I can. Then you can make a newer board that works. I mean, uses surface mount capacitors and resistors and all this and that. I mean, that's up to you. And even 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 make one that instead of a CRT uses actually LCD. Um, so there's many things we can do. I mean, there's endless possibilities. It all depends what's available and how much someone wants to spend. I mean, imagine if you can get rid of this whole analog board that's so big and go to something that is an eighth of the size, and you drive an actually LCD screen from it. I mean, it could be amazing. Could be neat. Anyway, wishful thinking, right? Well, you never know. Let's see what happens, right? Anyway, that's it for this video. It is 12:05 here. I need to get some lunch. I'm hungry. I don't know yet what I want today. Anyway, so thanks for watching. If you appreciate this, do a thumbs up for me. Comments are always welcome. The channel does take donations. PayPal is there. Look in the actually about. I am working on a website. KMacVintage.com. I already have the domain. I already have a page out there parked. But I need to do some work on it. I need to design it and lay it out. If anyone is out there that wants to donate actually time to design and create a website for me, let me know. It is on actually WordPress, so it should be simple. I don't have too much time, but anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you all on the next video. Bye bye.